Welcome back to the channel. 2 weeks is a hell of a lot of time in the footballing world. Man City are in a crisis. Arsenal are in a crisis. Real Madrid, the Galacticos, are in a crisis. Matchday number 11 in the Premier League before we all have to be dragged through the boringness that is the international break. Let's have a catch up with week 10 and see what happened, shall we? Well, massive shocks as Bournemouth outplayed Man City, in all honesty, to beat them 2-1 at the Vitality. Arsenal dropped more points at Newcastle. Southampton picked up their very first win of the season. The pressure increases on Lopetegui at West Ham as Forest put them to the sword. Liverpool came from behind to beat Brighton with 2 quick goals. Ipswich let another victory slip through their fingers as Leicester secured another late point. Crystal Palace and Wolves drew 2-2. Wolves are still looking for their very first victory of the season. It was a tale of two halves at Tottenham as Villa went into the break leading 1-0. Spurs got a kick up the arse by me, good old Aussie Ange Postecoglou, and they came out all guns blazing to beat them 4-1. Manchester United and Chelsea played out a boring 1-1 draw, which in honesty didn't pick up till about the 70th minute. Brentford were winning 1-0, 82 minutes, enter Harry Wilson. 10 minutes later, the score is 2-1 and Fulham record a victory. So what has that done to the table? Well, Liverpool are back at the top with 25 points, 8 wins, 1 draw and 1 loss. Man City slip into second with 23 points. And get this, my pre-season prediction for Nottingham Forest to struggle and to go down, they've well and truly made me eat humble pie. They are third in the league with 19 points. Espirito Santo's men look fantastic and hard to beat. Chelsea are in fourth with 18 points. Arsenal and Villa are also on 18 points in fifth and 6th. Tottenham climb up to 7th on 16 points. Level with Brighton. Then Fulham enter the top half once again. They're on 15 points after their win against Brentford. Bournemouth are 10th. On 15 points. Can you believe their last 3 matches against Arsenal, Villa and Man City? 3 of the title, well, you can't really call Villa, but 3 of the top 6, and they've secured 7 points. What an unbelievable feat. Newcastle are up to 11th with 15. Brentford are 12th with 13. Manchester United climb up to 13th with 12 points. West Ham are 14th on 11 points. Leicester get another point in their bag and they move up to 15th on 10 points. Everton are 16th on 9 points. Palace still out of the relegation zone on 7 points and 17th. And then the bottom 3 has not changed. It's Ipswich, Southampton and Wolves, with Ipswich and Wolves still yet to taste victory this season. So guys, let's get into it. Matchday 11, the fixtures. What are we doing? What do we think? It's kicking off with Brentford versus Bournemouth at Brentford. 46 wins for Brentford, 39 wins for Bournemouth. Brentford have never lost in the Premier League to Bournemouth, although they've only played 4 games, so it's not a massive sample size. Bournemouth coming off the back of 3 absolute huge results, including wins over Arsenal and Man City. Bournemouth are in real good form. Brentford, of course, are coming off that late comeback from Fulham, although they did play good in that match. And they ultimately lost 2-1. I expect Bournemouth to continue their good form here. And I'm going for a 2-1 away win for Bournemouth. Next we have a London derby between Palace and Fulham. 14 wins for Palace, 18 wins for Fulham. 4 of the last 5 matches have ended in a draw between these two sides. Palace, of course, have climbed out of the bottom 3. Fulham will be buoyed from that epic comeback against Brentford, but I'm going to go for a draw here. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. Next we have West Ham versus Everton at West Ham. 45 wins for West Ham, 75 wins for Everton. In the last 8 matches we have 5 wins for West Ham and 3 wins for Everton. West Ham are really struggling for consistency this season and their defence looks extremely vulnerable. Everton's unbeaten streak, of course, came to an end when they lost out Southampton this weekend. West Ham definitely need points. Lopetegui must be under some kind of pressure, although I don't think there's any real chance of a sacking anytime soon. I'm expecting them to give him time after, of course, the amount of players and the amount of investment they have put into him. I am backing West Ham for a win here. I think there's going to be goals because West Ham's defence is very, very shaky. And I'm going to go for a 3-2 win for West Ham. Next we have Wolves versus Southampton at the Molineux. 28 wins for Wolves, 28 wins for Southampton. Southampton, of course, secured their first victory of the season as they beat Everton. Wolves are still winless. They drew 2-2 with Palace. They do look good, but they are leaking a hell of a lot of goals. They can score goals, but they're leaking a hell of a lot of goals. Southampton, I would actually say, week on week are starting to progressively look better and better. And in Ramsdale, they have a real shot stopper there. I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw because I think we're seeing a theme here with Wolves. They can score, but they're just letting in goals. Next, we have Brighton versus Man City at the Amex. In this fixture, we have 6 wins for Brighton, 21 wins for City. Man City have won 4 of the last 6 Premier League games between the two. Brighton have only beaten City once in the Premier League. Both are coming off 2-1 losses in the league. Of course, Brighton lost to Liverpool and Man City lost to Bournemouth. But 3 losses in a row in all competitions for Pep Guardiola's Man City, which has not been repeated since 2018. City looks shaky, and to be honest, with their injury woes, anything could happen, but I'm backing City to win here 1-0. Next we have Liverpool versus Aston Villa at Anfield. 102 wins for Liverpool, 59 wins for Aston Villa. Liverpool have won 5 of the last 7 matches against Villa. They are top of the league after taking advantage of City and Arsenal's loss. Villa have not beaten Liverpool since that freak 7-2 drumming in the year of the China virus. Villa coming off the back of a 4-1 smashing by Spurs. Liverpool really are looking like the real deal, and I back them to win again here. I'm going for a 2-0 win for Liverpool. Next we have Manchester United versus Leicester at Old Trafford. 71 wins for United, 36 wins for Leicester. The last 5 matches have produced 2 wins apiece and a draw. Leicester will be looking for revenge after, of course, their reserve team got smashed 5-2 by Manchester United. Leicester with some really important last-minute goals in recent weeks. United are really struggling to find the back of the net. This, of course, will be Ruud van Nistelrooy's last league game in charge before Ruben Amorim takes over after the international break. Are they going to send Ruud van Nistelrooy off with a win? I think they are. I'm going to go for a 3-1 win for Manchester United. Next, we have a very interesting one between Nottingham Forest and Newcastle. 35 wins for Forest, 55 wins for Newcastle. Newcastle have won 3 of the last 4 matches between these two sides. Forest, of course, are riding high in 3rd in the league at the moment. Newcastle on the back of that brilliant 1-0 victory against Arsenal. Forest's defence is absolutely fantastic at the moment. Chris Wood is firing. Their wide players are playing good. And I think they might just pull off another shock and beat Newcastle 1-0. Next we have Spurs versus Ipswich. In this fixture we have 24 wins for Spurs, 21 wins for Ipswich. Spurs on the back of that stunning 4-1 victory against Villa. Ipswich once again denied by a late goal. This is worrying, the amount of late goals they are conceding. They're still awaiting their first victory of the season. What Spurs will turn up? Solanke looked very good for them. Son looked very good for them. Dejan Kulusevski has absolutely flourished this season, and I'm going to go for a 3-1 win for Spurs. Sorry to the Tractor Boys, your wait for a win is going to have to continue. And that brings us to the last match of the weekend, the London derby, Chelsea versus Arsenal At Stamford Bridge, 66 wins for Chelsea, 84 wins for Arsenal. Arsenal have won 4 of the last 5 meetings between these two teams, including a 5-0 thrashing last season. Chelsea have in fact not beaten Arsenal in the Premier League since 2021. Arsenal are winless in 3 games and risk having their title hopes completely blown away if Chelsea win. I am going to go as far as saying this is a must win for Arsenal if they want to realistically have a shot at the title. I don't expect Man City and Liverpool to drop points here, and the lead might start to get substantial. I think Chelsea are going to do it. I'm going for a 2-1 home win for Chelsea. Well, there you have, guys. There's my predictions for Matchday 11, the last match before the international break. As ever, guys, if you are enjoying the content, please like, subscribe, and press the bell notification. And until the return of football, the return of proper football in a couple of weeks after this international break, please stay safe, and I'll catch you at week 12.